The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman.
We're ready, General Washington.
You have done it, sir.
The job is not yet done. The battle is still before us.
Washington doesn't know it yet, but the two columns of soldiers due to cross upstream were stopped in their tracks by the brutal conditions. He and his 2,400 men are now on their own.
Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
General George Washington's daring Delaware River gambit pays off. With his first great battlefield victory of the Revolution. In less than an hour, 22 enemy soldiers are killed, some 900 taken prisoner. Not a single American is lost in the fight.
Repeat after me. I, George Washington, do solemnly swear.
I, George Washington, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability,
To the best of my ability.
preserve, protect, and defend
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States. So help me, God.
It is done. God bless George Washington, President of the United States!
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here. But it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
April 6, 1917, and the United States took up arms to join the Allies. Recruits came, bankers, bakers, men from every walk of life. Goodbye, Broadway, and over there were the songs as they sailed. The Yanks are coming.
Assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
And return to combat is exactly what Lieutenant Audie Leon Murphy did. January 26, 1945, was to be his day of destiny in the Colmar pocket of France. Now commanding B Company, Lieutenant Murphy ordered his men to fall back. It was not really a company, only about 30 or so were still alive. He remained on line to direct artillery fire down on the 6 advancing German tanks and the 250 infantry foot soldiers. He was connected by field phone with Lieutenant Walter Weisfenning, the U.S. Artillery Forward Observer.
Then I saw Lieutenant Murphy do the bravest thing that I have ever seen any man do in combat. Standing alone on top of a burning tank destroyer, he raked the approaching enemy force with machine gun fire. Twice the tank destroyer was hit by artillery fire, and Lieutenant Murphy was enveloped in clouds of smoke and spurts of flame. Fighting alone against overwhelming odds, he smashed a powerful assault, enabling his regiment to hold ground that was won at a heavy cost of blood.
For this incredible act of bravery, which caused the German counterattack to fail, Audie Murphy received the Legion of Merit and the highest honor the United States could bestow, the Congressional Medal of Honor. He was promoted to first lieutenant, and in July of 1945 was sent home a national hero, with his beaming face adorning the cover of Life magazine.
the United Nations troops push on in the cautious advance against the communists. An advance whose purpose, General Ridgway states, is not to seize ground, but to wipe out the enemy. The Chinese Red Army, fighting desperately in small isolated stands, prefers to give ground on wider fronts rather than join battle. And it's up to the infantry to clear out the pockets of die-hard communists. With the enemy falling back to the Han River, United Nations commanders had expected that the Reds would make their stand there. But under a steady, withering barrage, GIs are able to cross the river and establish a beachhead. Within 2 hours, a pontoon bridge spans the Han, and United Nations troops and equipment pour across toward the capital city of Seoul.
On May 2nd, 1968, Benavidez was at a forward operating base in Loc Ninh when word arrived of a 12-man intelligence gathering team that had been pinned down by superior NVA forces. 3 helicopters had already attempted to extract them, but were unable to land due to intense enemy fire. Racing to board a 4th rescue helicopter and realizing that all of the team's members were either wounded or dead, Benavidez directed the aircraft to a nearby clearing and leapt from the hovering vehicle to assist. Armed only with a knife and his medical bag, Benavidez ran approximately 75 meters under withering enemy fire and was hit several times in the attempt. Despite his own injuries, Benavidez administered aid to wounded team members and carried or dragged the others to the safety of the extraction helicopter. He also made certain to recover the fallen sergeant's body and secure the classified documents he was carrying. But while making his way back, the helicopter pilot was hit and the aircraft crashed. Now critically injured, Benavidez fought his way back to the wreckage, where he struggled desperately to free the wounded, form a defensive perimeter, and direct airstrikes to allow another rescue landing to be attempted. But it would be hours from the start of the action before that help would arrive.
I spent 6 hours, and pardon the expression, God, in hell. I got shot 5 times. I was hitting them out with the butt of the weapon. My jaws were locked. I was bayoneted on both arms. Helicopters after helicopters came in to get us out. The last helicopter that came to get us out, these officers, dedicated men like you, men and women, these officers, 4 of them volunteered to come and get us out. Our life was in their hands. This is dedication that we have with one another. When they pulled me out, they said that I was holding my intestines in my hand. I don't remember. I was so scared, so tired, that they let me lay on the floor of that chopper. And they started identifying the bodies. They found out that I loaded 3 dead enemy soldiers by mistake. I didn't want to leave anybody behind. And so they let me lay next to the enemy soldiers, NVA. And they were putting them in body bags. And I couldn't talk. They were already putting me in a body bag, and the zipper was coming up, and I couldn't tell this guy, hey, I'm still alive, man. I'm still alive. And my buddy, Jerry Cottenham, he went and got a doctor, grabbed him, and he made that doctor feel my heartbeat. When I felt that doctor's hand on my chest, I spit in his face. That's the only sign that I had, the only strength that I had to let him know that I was still alive.
Where did we find such men? We find them where we've always found them, in our villages and towns, on our city streets, in our shops and on our farms. I have one more Vietnam story, and the individual in this story was brought up on a farm outside of Correo in DeWitt County, Texas, and he is here today. I learned of his story, which had been overlooked or buried for several years. It has to do with the highest award our nation can give, the Congressional Medal of Honor, given only for service above and beyond the call of duty.
The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful from here, Neil. It has a stark beauty all its own.
8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
Solid rocket boosters kicking in.
25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Challenger going into its roll. That's planned. Watch it spiral away from pad 39B, the first use of pad 39B since the old Apollo days and the Skylab missions. It's chilly in Florida. Icicles formed on the pad overnight. NASA engineers were concerned that they might have broken off during the launch and affected the fragile heat protection tiles that protect the shuttle on its way back in during re-entry.
We'll throttle down to 65% shortly.
Don't know what the effect might be just yet. The astronauts will take a look later on during the mission.
Engines at 65%, 3 engines running normally, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good APUs.
APUs, the auxiliary power units.
2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
It's always amazing to hear how quickly the shuttle moves. It's already more than 4 miles downwind, as we just heard.
Throttling up, 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go with throttle up. Roger, go with throttle up.
This shuttle mission will launch, my God.
1 minute 15.
There's been an explosion.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance.
The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us for the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. Thank you.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
On August 2nd, 1990, Saddam Hussein stuns the world when Iraq invades Kuwait in a surprise attack. But 6 months later, the Iraqi army is on the run from US-led coalition forces in the First Gulf War.
At obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning
that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Bad One.
Eagles pitching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.